Ag PhD full episodes and more are now available on Acres TV, the newest ag platform connecting you to fields of information. Look for us on watchacrestv.com. In our Farm Basics segment, we like to talk about some terms that farmers throw around or concepts that farmers use that may not be topics of conversation around the dinner table for everybody. Like, for example, lift stations. We talk about, well, we've got a lift station and oh, it's so good for this one field. What in the world's a lift station?
A lift station is a sump pump, just like you would have in your house, only much, much bigger.
Well, that's true, and a little more expensive to use and to run, because this sump pump is going to pump excess water out of a field, but not necessarily water on the surface.
Yeah, so what we're talking about here, it is the same concept as a sump pump. Think about it around your house. There are tile lines around your house, and they go to a low point that's in your house. That's the sump, and then we need to pump the water out of there. We're doing the same thing out in a field. We create a low point, a really low point, and then out of that sump, we're going to pump that water out. It's just that in some cases, well, for example, like in our farm, even with a 75-acre field, in one of our fields, we have a pump that will pump out 1 million gallons per day. That's a little bit bigger than the sump.
That's a little bigger than the sump around your house. Of course, it's a much bigger area to cover as well. So what we're talking about here, like with your house, for example, you've got tile lines that run, or drainage tile lines that run underneath the floor of your basement. So just a little below your basement floor. And so what the goal is try to keep the water table from getting up so you don't have water in your basement. Well, in the field, it's the same thing. Farmers put tile lines in so the water table doesn't come up and kill off all the roots of their crop.
So on our farm, we have what we would call natural drainage. Basically, gravity moves the water. So even if we put some drain tile lines in, there's so much slope that we can outlet the line right in a grass waterway, for example, and it just keeps running downhill. But in a lot of fields, there is not much slope. The field is very flat. And so what you have to do is, in effect, as a farmer, we have to create our own slope, and we have the tile lines all go down. We go right to a point, to a sump, basically, and then we pump that water out.
So at the ends of some fields, you might notice this as you drive out in the country. You might see, well, what is that thing at the end of the field? It could be a lift station for the farmer to help control where that water table is out in his field.
Well, another thing the farmer is trying to control out in his field is weeds, like our Weed of the Week. Can you identify this week's weed?